Is going to be sharp angle cuts. All right, so we're going to dive into the details of what a sharp angle cut is, or at least what I call a sharp angle cut. All right, and how you can perform those, okay, as efficiently as possible. For those of you that are receivers or that are receiver coaches or have been around the game for a long time, you probably already realize the value of creating space, okay? The guys that you see on the TV all the time catching the ball with nobody around, those are the guys that have been really, really good in and out of their cuts in order to be able to create that space, all right? So I spend a ton of time with my receivers talking about how can we create efficiency in each of our cuts, all right? Now, a sharp angle cut, I classify all routes where you're going up the field and breaking back at a sharp angle, okay, like this curl route right here, all right? At the top, you're coming back at a sharp angle, all right? I classify that as a sharp angle cut. Now, in my opinion, this is probably the hardest route that you have, or at least the hardest cut that you have, because of the severity of the angle here at the top. Okay, now if we were just coming up and then going straight in, like an in route right there, it wouldn't be quite as severe of a cut, so it wouldn't be quite as difficult to get out of. All right, now here's the thing. I've got 3 things up here today that I think are the key points in order to get in and out of your cuts efficiently on a sharp angle cut. Okay, number 1, feet. All right, now when I say feet, what I mean by that is your feet control your momentum. All right, so as a receiver, we want to sell that we are sprinting down the field. We want to show no signs of breaking down, showing no signs of slowing down, okay? A lot of guys will give it away with their eyes or with their pad level. They'll raise up or their arms come out to the side, all right? But we want to be sprinting full speed. Now, here's the key. When I say momentum, I don't mean how fast you're going at top speed. What I mean is being able to control your momentum by decelerating at the top. Okay, that's a very undervalued thing when it comes to receivers, the ability to be able to decelerate as quickly as possible. Okay, we use something in Shipley Performance called a hammer step. Okay, like you use a hammer in real life to apply force to something. All right, if you want to slow down, it takes force to do that. All right, so we use a hammer step so that we can decelerate as quickly as possible, which will give us body control. Okay, so we think about this as us in a car driving 100 miles an hour. Okay, let's say we broke the speed limit, we're going 100 miles an hour. All right, now when I get to the top of my route right here, I want to go from my 100 miles an hour to 20 miles an hour, as close as I can to 0 as possible. Okay, and if you can do that on your first breakdown step, you'll have a ton of body control. You won't have as much momentum on your next couple steps, so that you can get in and out of your cut in fewer breakdown steps. All right, and that's the key. Fewer breakdown steps means a faster time in and out of your cut, which makes it harder for that defensive back to be able to cover you. All right, the next thing, hips. Okay, now your hips control the angle of your route. So since your feet control your momentum, okay, the speed, so going from full speed to decelerating, now your hips control the angle that you take. So I like to refer to our hips as like the belt buckle, okay, the centerpiece of our body. Wherever our hips are facing, when we come out of our cut, that's the direction that we're gonna go. As human beings, we are gonna go in the angle that our hips are facing, okay? So when we get to the top and we are able to decelerate really quickly and suddenly, now we gotta snap our hips at the angle that we wanna take out. And right here, that's a sharp angle, okay? So here, if you can get to the top, snap your hips back around, facing back down toward the quarterback on that curl route, you can take that sharp angle cut. Okay, and the last thing is arms. All right, so when I say arms, I really mean our arms are gonna allow us to separate at the top. Okay, so we never wanna stop sprinting. So we're sprinting at the top, we break down, we snap our hips around, and then we use our arms to pull us out of that cut. We want very active arms. We don't wanna beat the drums, so we don't want our arms coming out to the side like this. We want something to be useful with our arms, so we wanna speed up our arm movement, but still continue to have very violent arms at the top, okay, as it pulls us out of our cut. Okay, allowing us to get that separation, which is the golden thing when it comes to route running, creating space. Okay, so make sure if you're running sharp angle cut routes like a hitch route, like a curl route, or like a comeback route, okay, all these 3 routes have one thing in common, and that is the very top, what you're doing, it's a sharp angle. Okay, if you're doing these things, go from full speed to as close to 0 as quickly as possible at the top in order to create that space. Snap your hips in the angle that you want to go to take a very sharp angle on this one, okay? And use your arms to pull you out of the cut in order to create separation. Okay, guys, I hope you like this. Come back for tomorrow. We're going to be talking about speed cuts. Thank you, guys.